Specializing in sports medicine, the Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic continues their strong support of local athletes. Each Saturday morning, local athletes are invited to attend a sports injury assessment clinic from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic, 2501 Cumberland Drive in Valparaiso. Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following. Specializing in sports medicine, the Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic continues their strong support of local athletes. Each Saturday morning, local athletes are invited to attend a sports injury assessment clinic from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Valparaiso Orthopedic Clinic, 2501 Cumberland Drive in Valparaiso. Hollywood star limo for business or pleasure.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Valparaiso University football. Along with head coach Tom Horne, this is Todd Eichhoff. Plenty of highlights to show you from the Crusaders' season-opening victory over the Bees of St. Ambrose, 34-12. And we'll visit live with standout fullback, co-captain Trevor Bell. He'll join us in the studio. Coach Tom Horne, you have to be pleased with the season-opening victory. It took a while for the offense to get going, but once the offense got going, what a great performance it was.
Absolutely, Todd. I think that we showed a little rustiness early on in the game with the offensive line and a little bit at the quarterback position. And once we got that together, we had almost 300 yards of offense in the second half and 31 points. So that was very, very good. Our defense played really well in the first half, and we scored enough points to stay ahead in the second half.
Like the coach mentioned, defense the key in the early portion of the game. And as we roll the videotape, we'll see it was all defense in the first half. In fact, only 3 points out of the 46 scored in the first half, Coach. We're going to see the first highlight we do show is punt return from Ozzie Young, and Ozzie all over the field on Saturday.
Right. A couple of times they let the contain man get inside, and Ozzie got outside of the contain people, and that's not very good on their part.
Defense was big in the first half, and Tom Cunningham played a great ball game, Coach.
Right. He coming from that flex tackle position, and they didn't block him, and he flew through and made the hit. Excellent job by Tom.
It's on a 2nd and 5. This is going to be the first down of the game. It goes to the Bees on a screen to Porter, and we saw plenty of Lionel Porter.
Absolutely dangerous runner. Maybe the best running back we see all year that we'll play against, other than our own Ozzie Young.
You blocked a punt against them last year for a touchdown, and you went after him again. Did you feel going into the game you were going to get one?
I think, if we prepare properly, we always feel we can get one. It just depends upon what kind of plan or strategy you have. Everybody blocks punts differently, and as far as the offense is concerned, and we go after punts differently based upon what they're showing us. So we feel we can block one every week.
Doug Holack got the block, but the Crusaders were unable to put anything on the board. The defense held again, and we see another nice punt return from Ozzie Young. Both offenses struggled in the first quarter and a half or so.
Right, I think it's a first game rustiness, and here again they let Ozzie get outside the contain people and get a 15-yard return. Ozzie, of course, 7th in the nation last year in punt returns, and he'll probably be leading the conference at least again this week by the first week's end.
Darrell Jackson really didn't play much, Coach. Tell us about his condition. That was the one ball he caught early in the ball game.
He woke up in the morning with a stiff knee and tried to play on it and just didn't do very well. We ended up pulling him out and playing Matt Kruper.
Nick Browder, 100 yards on the ground, 10 right there on the option.
Nick does a good job of running the option. And, of course, here, avoiding defensive people, as you see here, when he gets flushed out of the pocket, goes back and forth about 4 times, and then finally breaks downfield for a small gain, about 8 yards, but it's a big save rather than a sack in that situation, which was almost happened.
Key play here in the second quarter on a 3rd and 1. Ronnie Sazzone stopped Porter. They eventually turned the ball over on downs, and here come the Crusaders back offensively, and start to put a drive together here on the option. Good job by Browder. Gets it to the Oz, and he'll take it upfield for about 14.
Yeah, Nick doesn't realize here that Ozzie gets credit for all the yards in that run now when he gives it to him, even though he ran 10 yards downfield.
Trevor Bell, we'll talk to him a little later, running through tackles, picked up some yards there. You come right back on the option on the very next play, and An unfortunate turnover there.
Unfortunate because Ozzie, if he spins out of that when he's got a couple blocks ahead of him, he may score a touchdown.
You're going to see a real nice defensive play coming up from John Talyak. Reads the screen, and that's about the only way to stop Porter. Get him before he can get going. Absolutely.
If you get blockers in front of him, he's going to find a way to get through and get downfield.
He ran the quarterback draw effectively. We see it right here. And again, blockers out in front of Nick Browder, and he doesn't need much room.
No, he's a good open field runner, and we get two blockers in front of him. He's going to pick his way for 10 or 15 yards each time.
This is the field goal drive, and next play, very next play, in fact, Nick on the option. Ran over a tackler there, picked up 13.
Not real shy about running the football, is he, Todd?
Not at all. And either is one Trevor Bell, the next play, and he picks up 9. Very good drive here, and we're going to see the next play again. This time, Nick goes on top, and we're going to see a real fine catch by Michael Tolbert.
And Nick out there directing traffic, puts Mike where he should have been in the first place, and then throws a completion.
That set up the field goal try late first half as Billy Duke steps in and knocks one through from 27 yards. And really, Coach, kicking perhaps a question mark, but it was no problem on Saturday.
No, we had 2 27 yards by Billy. And we knew he made the first one from 27, so we knew we went from 27 again, he'd have to make it.
Halftime score, Coach, 3-0. And we're sitting there at halftime thinking, well, there were 67 points scored in this matchup a year ago, just 3 in the first half. And like you said, both offenses were rusty in that first half.
Absolutely, and you know, that's just the largest improvement any team makes between the first and second ball game. And of course, we've got a lot of improvement to do on our team this week. So that's kind of what offenses, you know, they get going. Defenses, they just attack, go to football, and they can play. And then if the offense makes mistakes, they're going to make plays on defense. And we made some mistakes.
Well, there must have been some halftime adjustments made somewhere along the way, because both teams got the offenses going in the second half. In fact, 43 points were put on the board in a high-scoring and wild second half. We'll take a look at those highlights when we return on Valparaiso University football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following. First National Bank of Valparaiso, with 13 offices throughout Porter County, working hard to meet the needs of the community. First National Bank of Valparaiso offers simple fixed-rate car loans with fast, personal, pre-approved service. First National Bank of Valparaiso, strengthening their commitment to Porter County. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender. Finley Construction, serving the building needs of commercial and residential properties throughout Northwest Indiana. Finley specializes in designing and building your new construction, remodeling, addition, and restoration projects. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Finley Construction, 462-2726.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
We go to the second half, Coach, and really, what was said at halftime? Because the offense never really did get going in that first half until that final drive. So what did you talk about at halftime?
Well, mainly offensive line coach Dave Harms went in and talked to the offensive line about some of the adjustments they weren't making based upon the fronts that we were seeing. And with our blocking schemes, are very simple, and if they just make the adjustments to what the front is, we wouldn't have any problems. And so Coach Harms basically talked to the offensive lineman, and that was about it. Nick came out in the second half with just more poised and more patient.
You know, you ran a lot of the same plays in the second half as you did in the first half, so not a great deal of changes, I guess.
No big changes. It was a young offensive line and a young quarterback, getting their first game rustiness out of the way and then performing in the second half.
Okay, so let's take a look at the highlights now, and we'll see plenty of offense in the second half, beginning with an outstanding cross-field run by Lionel Porter. Goes all the way to the right sidelines, Coach, and all the way back to the left sidelines he comes. And this shows his great speed and nearly went the distance.
very poor job of tackling on our defense's part. We had him for a 5 or 7 yard loss on the other side of the field. We've got to work a lot harder this week on tackling on defense.
This is the first drive of the second half. Fullback Rickson coughs up the football, and John Harrington gets on it. Perhaps it was Jeff Seymour knocked it loose. Tough to tell, but John Harrington, the man who got on the football.
A lot of guys swarming to the football, and if you're attacking the ball carrier and stripping and doing a good job on defense, somebody's going to come for the fumble, as Harrington did.
I think he threw the ball at first down maybe a little bit more in the second half, at least in the third quarter. Here you are in the next play. You go up top to Joe Finolio.
Yes, it's just a simple hitch route. He reads the strong safety and throws to the guy who's farther from the strong safety. It's really easy for the quarterback.
The option worked well, and you know, they didn't play quarterback as much as some teams maybe should. And you've got a player like Nick Browder. He picked up 15 and also got 15 more on the personal foul.
Well, they're really stuck because they've got to take away the pitch man. And if they take away the fullback who can also hurt them, then the quarterback's running down the field. So with Nick's running ability, we've really got a great triple threat on our offense.
It was a key 3rd and 4, which kept the drive going. And here on 4th and 7, another play which keeps the drive going. Up top to Scott Heinrichs, who makes a nice catch.
Big play catch by Scotty Heinrichs. Outstanding job by Nick getting the football too. And we were 2 for 2 in 4th down completions today. One was 4th and 7, one was 4th and 13, and a touchdown, which we'll see a little bit later.
This set up a field goal for Billy Duke as the drive was halted at the 10, and Billy Duke knocks it in from 27 yards out again. In fact, your first 3 scores came from 27 yards out. That field goal made it 6-0. Some good defense here, but first we see their quarterback Guffin, freshman. He's going to be a good one. Goes on top to Brian Pavage, and the former Valpo High standout. A huge game in front of the home folks.
Yeah, he's the most sure-handed wide receiver. And they threw him a lot of, that was the only long route he caught. They threw him a lot of short routes. Good possession receiver.
He caught 9 balls on the day. Next play, good defensive play by Josh Birding, who had a solid season opener.
Josh had an outstanding game. Of course, Josh was on the show last week. Very, very good first game at inside linebacker.
Next possession, and this is where the onslaught starts. Browder up top to Matt Kruper, who makes a fine catch in traffic.
Matt came in, he's a backup tight end to Daryl Jackson, and did an outstanding job for us on Saturday.
You see back-to-back screen passes. The first one goes to Trevor Bell, and he picks up about 10, fighting for the extra yard or so. And the next one goes the other way to Ozzie Young, and great blocks. Watch each lineman out here on this screen pass contribute.
Yeah, key thing here is Trevor Bell pushing the blitz guy enough so they can't get the nick so we can get it off. That's a very key play.
Here come the blocks right there. And then Ozzie to the outside and picks up 29 on that play.
And a little bit of a holding penalty at the end of the play, so we lost 10 of those yards that we just gained.
Very next play, we're going to see, here's the athletic ability of Browder. Looks like he's trapped again, but you see his quickness right there, avoiding that rush, and then getting to the outside. And then he gets a great block from Doug Holock and picks up 13 yards.
As a defensive coordinator, you can't plan for those kinds of things happening. And when you have a quarterback that can do that, you just have the triple threat that is tough to defend.
4th and 13, and Coach, you go up top and watch the catch by Doug Holock.
Outstanding catch. 2 people there. A third one coming in. He goes up above everybody and brings it down. Doug's a big play guy, and he made a big play there for us in a critical situation.
Up 12-0, Coach. Late third quarter, you decide to go for 2, and Nick's going to find a wide open Matt Kruper in the back of the end zone.
We've got half the distance to the goal, too, on a penalty on the touchdown.
14-0 the score here. Next possession. Tom Cunningham, we said he was around the football on Saturday, appears to cause a fumble, although it's called an incomplete pass.
Well, like we always say, the big guy in the sky doesn't lie. So it appeared like it was a fumble.
And probably was, but wasn't called that way.
Absolutely.
Next play. This keeps their drive alive. Final play of the third quarter. Duff into Pavich. And the first down. So 14-0 after 3 quarters. Who would have thought five fourth quarter touchdowns were coming? Probably not many people.
No. And I'm sure the fans were excited about it.
On a 4th and 10, Andre Murphy makes what looked to be just a tremendous athletic play, but he did get flagged for pass interference. Another close call, to say the least.
We had some penalties there that really hurt us. Fortunately, they didn't cost us a ball game. We've really got to work on that as a team so it doesn't cost us a ball game down the road.
John Palyuk gets through the block, makes the play on Porter in the backfield.
Now here's a key, after the touchdown being a 14-6, Todd, Ozzie Young with a 54-yard kickoff return to their side of the field. And it takes us 3 plays to score after that. And that was really a key situation because they tried to turn the momentum towards them and with a touchdown score.
Great speed. Again, the speed to get to the outside, turn the corner, and get upfield. And just 3 plays later, it's Trevor Bell from 16 yards out.
I was running a little dive play that I think Trevor is probably his favorite play. All he has to do is make a read and cut out the read and
Little stiff arm there.
does the rest.
And then runs through a couple tackles and into the end zone. The extra point made it 21-6.
Kind of parts the waves there and gets up and nonchalant back to the huddle like it's just
Like he's been there before.
Absolutely. That's the kind of attitude you want to have.
Here's the hit of the game as Brian Pavich and Shane Snyder go noggin to noggin. Whoa.
I was standing about 10 feet away from that, and that was a pretty good crunch.
Not bad. Not bad. We see the great breakaway speed of Porter. He had 189 yards against you, Coach, and the most coming in the second half. And again, his ability to make big plays was the key for them.
As we said in last week's show, he had almost 1,400 yards as a freshman. He's an outstanding back for them, and we'll see him for 2 more years after this year.
You want a quick toss, coming to the near side, cuts it in and gets into the end zone. 21-12, the key here, they failed on the 2-point conversion. She kept the 2-score spread on them.
Right. A little disappointed in the defense not doing their responsibilities as far as gap cancellation is concerned in both of those touchdown runs by Porter.
After an onside kick, which was recovered by Scott Lansky, here's Matt Kruper again. Did a fine job.
Excellent catch there above his head running downfield, and a big play.
Next play, here's Nick on the option. He'll pick up 17. Nearly stayed in bounds there. Out of bounds at about the 7. Went backwards. 3rd and 10. 3rd and goal from the 10. And here's another circus catch in the end zone. This one by Joe Fenolio.
Outstanding catch by Joe, a senior wideout for us from Providence Catholic High School over by Joel. He had outstanding job. Did a good job perimeter blocking all day. And even filled in some at tight end in the no-huddle offense.
He went to Mike Rolando on the final drive at quarterback, and here's a great catch by a freshman tight end, Jim Dunham.
Outstanding athlete. It's going to be a great tight end down the road. I know he's a patient young man. He stays patient. His time's going to come.
Quarterback draw, or was it?
It was an option
Mike
pass.
Rolando.
It was an option pass. Man coverage. Everybody runs off. He sees an opening, just walks in the end zone.
That closed the scoring at 34-12, and final play of the game is an intercept for Scott Lansky. Had a couple big plays in this game.
Scott, a very good athlete from Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Just a sophomore, doing a great job there. He backs up at free safety as well as he backs up Saul Shahid at outside linebacker, and very important part of our defensive scheme.
There's your final score, 34-12, and let's take a look at the game stats, and we'll see. They look more even than the game really was because, Coach, especially in the first half, they gained some yards, but it was the bend but don't break defense, which we saw.
And they had 4 turnovers in the game as well. That's a big thing. You give
4 turnovers to 1, maybe the biggest stat up there.
Most definitely.
And also a great job of converting in the second half by your team. Every time you moved the ball downfield, you scored, and you had some short fields to work with. Key returns by Ozzie Young, recovered an onside kick. You had some short fields to work with and took advantage of it.
Most definitely. We punted 4 times in the game, 3 in the first quarter. So the last 3 quarters we only punted once the entire game. So we're moving the football on them. We just had a little bit of trouble scoring early on in the game, and then second half we finally exploded. And
again, just 1 turnover by the Crusaders, a key. A good season opening start for the Pioneer Football League. Scores from around the league, and we'll see everybody but Butler who played posted victories, including San Diego knocking off Menlo College.
I beat them last year 41-6. So it looks like Menlo's a little bit better, or San Diego's a little bit worse, one of the two. But still a pretty convincing victory.
And what happened to the Bulldogs? They beat Hofstra a year ago, not this time.
Well, as we predicted last year, Butler's program's on its way down, and that's an obvious evidence for that. Last year they went to Hofstra out east, traveled there and beat them at their place, and then Hofstra comes to Butler, and it was 41-0 at halftime.
Right, and Hofstra piled up about 500 yards against the Bulldogs' defense. Evansville in the win column, and the Purple Aces squeaking one out there.
Wittenberg's one of the winningest programs in Division III football,
right.
And
it's a good win.
Very formidable foe. Yes, very good win.
Good win, and Dayton, they just keep on rolling.
Yeah, Mount St. Joe's, I think third year of their program, not quite as established program as Dayton.
Okay.
Kind of an understatement, right?
Yeah. So on the standings, we'll see everybody in the win column except Butler and Drake, who did not play. I believe Drake will open up against Simpson.
Right.
Coming up.
Simpson's pretty close to Des Moines, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes south of there, and they've got a little kind of rivalry going with Drake and Simpson.
Okay. So there are the standings, and again, 4 out of the 5 PFL teams who played posted victories. Time to welcome in our guest, Trevor Bell, who off to a fine start. Trevor, nice start to the season. Not only the victory, but you were able to get the ball in the end zone. And I guess the big question to start with, Tom, is that Trevor Bell is finally healthy, right? Do you feel a lot more healthy than you've been?
Yeah, going through back surgery this winter, Dr. Blader did a real good job, and I have no pain at all in my back.
How much of a difference is it?
It's a big difference, able to run without your back hurting. But I'm managing good this year.
Coach, I know one of the things that's pleased you the most about Trevor, his leadership, right?
Absolutely. Voted by his teammates as a team captain this year. Last spring in the off-season, the coaches picked him as an off-season captain as well in the weight room and the off-season conditioning program. Outstanding leadership skills, just a fine young man, a great student. He's got the whole package.
Trevor, the offense, a lot of weapons back, a lot of pressure on you guys to put points on the board. Worried at halftime that you'd only put 3 points on the board? What were some of the thoughts going through your mind?
I wasn't really worried. Everything was there. We just weren't executing, and we went inside, saw it on the blackboard, and I was confident going into the second half.
Really didn't make many changes then at halftime. It was just run the same plays, but let's get them working.
Right.
Talk about Nick Browder at quarterback, what he gives you. Obviously, the option's a big part of the offense.
Yeah, Nick's doing real well, especially his speed. And with him and Ozzie back there, they're just a threat, both being as fast as they are.
Okay. You know, the offense, Tom, just so many weapons now. I think we've heard that before, but really this is the case this year. This is the year for the Crusader offense, isn't it?
Well, who do you stop? If you're defensive coordinator, who do you try and stop? The fullback, the quarterback, or the tailback? And then we've got 4 outstanding wide receivers and a tight end that can catch the ball. I mean, where as a defensive coordinator, what do you do against our offense?
And Trevor, you look at the offensive line, there were some question marks going in, but especially in the second half, they performed extremely well.
They really came through. Evan Fitzgerald did a great job all day, as well as the other linemen, and second half they really picked it up.
Okay, well, you know, we talk about the ability to run the football, but you're really called upon to be a blocker as well. Anything you prefer more? We see you out of the backfield catching a pass as well. The coach is utilizing all your abilities, I guess. I guess that's what you want as a player.
Right. I like running, but I don't mind blocking either. I'll do either one. Okay. Whatever to do to win.
Season goals here now. So what do you have? Offensive season goals? Obviously, the goal as a team is to win every game, but does the offense have some goals?
Well, yeah, we want to go 10-0, of course. And as far as goals that we set, it's just putting as many points on the board as possible. Help the defense out, give them a rest.
Okay. Week off now. Does that help? Does that hurt? What are your thoughts?
I think it's going to help us prepare for Milligan. We should be prepared very well, and no doubt that we can win this game too.
Okay. Coach, the key to an option number one of a defense is to stop the fullback, right? So when Trevor can get things going, that makes the option really go to great strides when Trevor is running well.
And when they're so worried about Ozzie and the quarterback getting outside, then things loosen up inside, and you go back to the fullback, and the fullback has a great day. So, I mean, Trevor's had 100-yard games here. Nick had one Saturday. We know Ozzie has potential of 100-yard games, so which one do you try and take away?
Mm-hmm. And obviously, we mentioned Trevor's different abilities, catch the ball, run the football. You don't see that in a fullback all that much, the ability to do so many different things.
No, he's a very good athlete, very strong, one of our stronger players on the team. He'll block you. And one of the biggest things that Trevor does well is when we're in passing situations and they're sending heat against us, he always knows where to go to pick up that extra guy that's coming. Mm-hmm. Even if he's supposed to step to the right, he'll step to the left and pick up something, or he'll see the first guy coming off one of the offensive linemen's block and pick him off and give an extra second for the quarterback to throw it. That's what the intangible things, what he really adds to our program.
Okay, Trevor, your 5th year here, obviously there's a different attitude, right, from when you came in.
Definitely. There's much more of a winning attitude, and the guys are a lot more confident going into games now.
Okay, Crusaders are off this week, but everybody else in the conference is in action, and let's take a look at that schedule now. We'll see that although the Crusaders are off, like I said, that doesn't mean the conference is off, right?
Now, we've got a bunch of conference games going, as I see here. Now, there's still no interconference play, but they're all outside the conference. And St. Mary's in California is playing at San Diego. And we've got Butler playing at St. Xavier, who we played last year. Thomas More is out of northern Kentucky.
I was wondering about that. Thomas More.
They're only in about their 3rd or 4th year of their program, and they're at Evansville.
George Strait with Baby Blue. How you doing, folks? Steve Witt here at 27 minutes after 9. More great stuff on the way. Neil McCoy is going to start off the next half hour of music for us. Also coming up this next half.
Big game coming up a week from Saturday at Brown Field when the Crusaders try to go 2-0. We thank Trevor Bell and the coach, Tom Horne. We thank you for tuning in. We'll see you same time next week right here on Valparaiso University Football.
Valparaiso University football is underwritten by the following: